Wow. So,
You know,
Biffy, when today when people get sentenced, a lot of times they get sentenced. There was a time you would get a sentence, but you wouldn't do the time. You would do a part of the time. But when people get sentenced today, they doing the time. They doing all the time. It's not like you getting good behavior off for good behavior or nothing like that, right?
yeah, well, the feds did away with parole. I want to say 89, 90, somewhere in there. So there's no parole. They came up with the 85%, which is really 87.5% that you're going to do. Um, and you're just going to do your time. You're going to do, and honestly, Crystal, it's the biggest waste of time. I mean, you have to do the time and don't let the time do you, because
That's it. Do the
it's
time and don't let
promoted.
the time do you.
It's
Now let's talk
promoted.
about that for a minute because
Okay.
there's a whole lot of guys who don't know how to do that. What does that mean?
What that means is you have to take that time and understand uh, your your journey is beyond where you are. Free your mind, your body is there, but your journey is beyond those gates. And in order to establish what it is that you have that you want to do, whatever your craft may be, you have to set short-term goals. And those short-term goals will give you the confidence, the arrogance, the willpower, because you're accomplishing something. You're starting to believe in yourself, and once you believe in yourself and learn yourself, then the sky's the limit. You're smart. Look at what you was doing.
Right.
Look at what you was doing. Look at what you had. It's pretty much, not jumping too far ahead. I look at the streets and I look at what I do for a living, and without mentioning the company's name, because you still got those haters. I have people who work for me. Those people who are the same people who were working for me on the street.
Wow, and you got them a job.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you get to a certain, you don't have to be to the top to reach back down and give somebody a hand.
That's it. Well, let's
See,
talk about that. So you did 16, is it 16 years?
16-8.
16 years, 8 months?
Yep.
Did you can remember that day? Well, you ain't letting go of that 8 months, boy. You're not.
I did. It's mine.
Give you that 8 months. They give me mine. I did 16 years, 8 months. You know how many hours it was, Briefly, before you
ain't no need to give me $10 an hour and pay me 8. I need all my time.
So can you remember that day when it was it like that last year? That last year, are you counting down every month, every week? Do you have a little check off on the dates on the wall? Are you really conscious about, oh my God, are you trying to stay out of trouble? Because I understand sometimes it gets to be a challenge because you got haters. And as you get closer to that time, they know you're going to leave. Sometimes they try to set you up. Is that true?
Well, that's how you expose yourself. It's very true. And it'll be the one that's closest to you. You can't be in there and not talk to nobody. You're gonna have people that you hey, how you doing? You could be social, but you came by yourself. You know what I'm saying? That there's no friends. Like I met some great guys there. We developed great relationships. Including my so-called best. I won't say so-called. He is my best friend, but I'm saying so-called because that's how we label it. But I got 15 best friends. That I know. Got my back. So that's what I mean by so-called. But there's some good people there. There's great people there. There's great building there. There's with that being said, you have to. I remember the first day I got there, because I just described it to you when we pulled up to Atlanta Penitentiary. And I remember the last day leaving. Most of the stuff in between was a blur. All I know is that I didn't compromise myself, my manhood, or my integrity. You know
was
what I'm saying?
That a challenge? Was that hard?
No, because you have to. It's not hard once you learn yourself. If you, I mean, is it hard for you not to drink Drano? Drano is poison. So if you drink it, you're gonna die. So you learn things. I know if I go over here and indulge in activity with these dudes, then I'm gonna be characterized as one of them, and that's not how I'm known. So it all depends on how you want to carry it. But you have to be focused and you have to be careful. You have to be focused. You have to be careful. And a lot of people, a lot of these guys, when I talk to them out here in the streets now, I tell them, you ain't ready for that, man. You think you are. You ain't ready for that. I mean, hell, dude jumped on Mike Tyson, knowing he was the former heavyweight champion of the world, but he still wanted to triumph. You see, so nobody's scared of you. None of that you was doing on the street makes a difference in there, unless your money's long and you can just take care of dudes and they're just going to stay out of your way because you're taking care of them. You buying them commissary, you're doing this, you're doing that. And that's how it goes, and they sit out here and they sit behind these desks and they try to, tell you how it is and tell you what, but you can't unless you experience it. You're not an expert at that. You're a college graduate. You're not an expert at being behind the wall. You don't know what going on when the lights go out. You don't know what going on when it's 15 of y'all against 300. So you can't say, what will happen or what's going to go on. And a lot of these kids are just they're just misled. That's all.
Yeah.
Just misled.
So Beefy, let me ask you this. What is the most valuable lesson you learned during that time?
Myself. I learned myself. I learned who I was. I learned what makes me happy. I learned what makes me sad. I learned what makes me cry. I learned what makes me mad. I learned how to be dependable. I learned the importance of being a father. Most importantly, I learned my spiritual side. I learned how to not worry about what others say. They're going to talk about you. Doors are going to be closed in your face. People are going to slam doors in your face. I had a woman tell me one time I went for a job. They hired me and then they sent me over to the place to do my paperwork. And the lady in HR was like, hold on for a minute. You a felon? I said, yeah. So why would we hire you? All these people out here need jobs. I think we should get them a job first. And I didn't get the job. But had I not known myself and I had not built up that positive energy, then I'd have been done. I'd have went back to what I'm used to in the street, But I took my tail on over to Mike Dot, shout out to Men at Work, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
and
what he does.
One thing about this guy that makes me love him, even though I don't see him every day and I don't talk to him every day, he gives you an opportunity. See, it's either work for him. It's either work for him or sit down at the halfway house and try to find a job. So what happened is I started working for him, and my work ethics was seen by somebody outside of him, and he let me go. Yeah. To that person. And then that person called me in his office after about 2 years, and he said, man, I'm holding you back. I'm gonna pay you for 4 months, but I want you to go out there and find a job. I can't keep you there. I'm doing you a misjustice. Right. I'd love to keep you because you're doing a great thing. But in my head, one side of me was like, this is an excuse. He's using an excuse, that want to get at him, and then the other side was like, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he sees something in you. Maybe you need to pursue what you said you're going to do.
Now, I want to piggyback off of what you said, and I'm going to get Mike Dot on here. I've been telling him I want to interview him. What Men at Work does is amazing because he just hires people coming out and gives them that chance, and he sticks by them, and he allowed them, as long as they apply themselves, they don't have no excuse because Mike definitely gives them a shot. And Beefy, what I heard you say about your mindset. So a lot of people, if there's somebody watching this now, because I have a lot of people who watch me from the prison. If there's somebody watching this now that's doing time, and I have one brother that he has a life sentence. I have a couple of them. They have some long years. What would you say to them to encourage them while they're still in there doing their time?
If they let me go tomorrow, am I ready? And if you're not, prepare yourself. If they let me go tomorrow, am I ready? If you occupy your mind with that mindset, the days will fly because you're going to always do things to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, because who knows what society is going to be in 20 years? Who knows what society is going to be in 15 years? But I know I'm prepared because I'm keeping up and I'm doing little things. And if I'm not doing anything but gathering the work ethics, getting up every morning, going to work, being on time, doing my job, showing pride in what I do, dress neat, you know, shirt iron, pants iron. When I go in the evening, I'm getting myself together. I'm making sure that I'm ready for work tomorrow. By then, it's time to take a shower and lay down, you know, and the days will start going because one day they're going to call your name. You know, you might have life now, but laws change. You know, there's dudes in there that had life for marijuana, and that's legal in some states. They home. You know, cases overturned, different laws, crack laws. You never know. So you have to be prepared. Chance favors the well prepared. If you're well prepared, then you stand a good chance. If you're not well prepared, you know,
Wow.
the recidivism rate is high for that reason. Because what they're going to do is they're going to put you at the halfway house. And I bring up Mike again. Mike paid me $175 a week. The halfway house needed 25% of that before taxes. And then there was those probation fees. So I walked away with about $70 a week. How can I prepare for society with $70 a week? But if you don't believe in yourself, then you're going to look down on yourself and you're going to start doing things that you shouldn't do. That's going to lead you right back into the system, which is where their money is at. Nobody wants you to succeed. Nobody, only person who wants you to succeed is you. You know, even some of those friends around you that you think want you to succeed, they don't want you to succeed. They don't want to see